According to Roman Lappat, there's one question every miniature painter asks.
I'm Roman, and this is not Massive Voodoo TV.
They say never meet your heroes. They're wrong. Here's the big one. What's the most common question your students ask you?
I want to be better and faster. I want to be fast, better.
So I guess the most obvious question is, what do you tell them?
Hi, I'm Roman. I'm a miniature painter from Germany and well known also for teaching classes. And today I'm here with James from Rising Ape Miniatures, and he will have an interview with me. I'm looking forward to that.
So, what's your story?
I started with the hobby like everyone else did, with like board gaming, so collected armies, everything. Never enjoyed the gaming aspect as much as the painting aspect. Really traveled quickly into learning more about painting, enjoyed that a lot more than gaming. And then started to become a teacher for school, regular school for art and art history, and decided to not work for the state after my first state exam and try to give it a try to teach what I love most, which is miniature painting. And here I am 20 years later.
That's a long time. How many students do you think that is?
I was thinking about that. It's quite a lot. I would say I taught around 250 weekend workshops with an average of 20 people. Makes 5,000 people, and about 300 private lessons, you can say. Quite a lot.
So I asked Roman if, after 20 years of painting, he was still as inspired now as he was back then.
That's a really good question. I do have to say, I think you always have to redefine yourself on such a path. So every 2 or 3 years, I'm checking back with me. Am I happy with where I am, what I do? And if the answer is no, I change things. Coming from a personal projects, if I'm unhappy about painting busts, I stop painting busts for a while and do framed dioramas maybe. If I'm bored by framed dioramas, I might do some astronaut projects. So I'm always redefining my own inspiration, what inspires me. But for my career and job, I can say what inspires me the most is, in the meantime, is to help people having shortcuts on their own learning journey with my help. This makes me happy, you can say.
I think you're at a point in your journey where a lot of people would say, I want to be like Roman. I want to be able to paint like Roman. I want to have achieved what Roman has. Do you see it the same way? I guess what I'm asking is, what does success look like to you?
Success for me in a career or on a path in life is, I'd say, success if you don't regret any decision in your life and if you feel happy with where you're at in that moment. I would not connect success to money or something. I would always kind of connect it to, are you happy in the place you are? And if not, change something to be at a better place.
And that's great and all, but when things get tough, what do you do to overcome the obstacles?
I analyze the block where it's coming from. Good example, for example, 3 years ago during COVID, I was moving flats 4 times a week, not 4 times a week, 4 times in this full year. So flat and studio, 4 moves overall. I wasn't being able to focus properly on my creativity, wasn't able to paint. And I had the feeling, I was kind of comparing myself on Instagram. Everybody was like painting crazily. Everybody was like super creative and everything. And I was kind of finding myself in a block because of outer reasons. And I accepted that and analyzed that block and found out, okay, I'm kind of jealous that I don't find the time to invest in my creativity at the moment and need to find back what really makes me happy in painting. I don't have to compare myself to, oh, Arnold Lasaro is painting such great busts. I want to achieve this without having time for it. So, and also I cannot achieve this because he's crazy. But on the other hand, it's I have to find back what makes me happy. And this is, I do question this all the time when I feel bad, analyze the situation, analyze the block, find out what makes you happy. For me, it was telling narrative stories and painting canvas. So I came up with framed dioramas. So this makes me happy. So I always analyze where do I find my happiness? And I do often find this in moments when I'm not happy. I often paint when I'm not happy because I use my emotions for painting, and this even the outcome means I'm painting happily because I'm using these emotions. But for example, if I go to the studio and I feel in the morning that it's not a good painting day, if I start and after 1 hour it feels like, no, today I'm not in the mood, I don't feel the muse or something, I might call it a day and paint on the next day.
Here's the big one. What's the most common question your students ask you?
I want to be better and faster. I want to be fast, better. I want to speed up my learning curve or something. That's actually like very, how you kind of sum up the questions that arrive at my place. Like, how can I spend less time but be better with that less time in a very fast learning period?
Now, I hate to burst your bubble, but I've done a few of these interviews now, and every single painter says the same thing.
I would always say miniature painting is like a muscle. You have to train it. And it's like you cannot go to the gym in the beginning and say, okay, tomorrow I'm here for the first day and tomorrow I look like this guy over there. It will not work. So people have different learning types. So some people will have click moments faster, others will have them slower. Others can invest more time to find these click moments, or have less. So it's such an individual journey that you should not compare yourself, and you should not think that you can speed up that process. You have to do with your pace.
Almost everyone I've spoken to says almost exactly the same thing.
It is. It is.
So sadly, it just comes down to practice, which sucks.
Paint happy means that for me, in my personal experience, is that I want to paint and be connected to my emotions. I don't want to paint something dead, like just like following techniques or something. I always paint by picking a certain model. I paint something with my emotions. I pick something with my emotions. I also let colors emotionally influence my paint jobs. When I'm painting something sad, it might get cold and bluish or dark. When I'm painting something warm from the heart, there will be warm colors. So I think as soon as I'm connected with my emotions, good or bad, and I can reflect them and can use them in my projects, I would say it's happy painting.
I think a lot of people, maybe don't take this the wrong way, slightly older people in the hobby will know you from Massive Voodoo. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Massive Voodoo was like, actually, it was born when I kind of introduced myself to several German forums, and I was working my butt off in German forums, answering questions, helping people, and I was active in many forums. So the workload was quite a lot. Every day, so I decided for myself I want to maybe have an own homepage. And a friend of mine, it was the time back then, like 2006-07, where blogs were very active. And a friend of mine said to me, Raffaele Pica, he said, Roman, don't do a homepage, do a blog. It's more like a diary. So I did that, and I set up Massive Voodoo. I just came up with the name, a brain fart, a wonderful one. And I was starting that blog, and after 1 or 2 months, I was really feeling alone there. So I was asking friends of mine, like, hey, would you like to join? Just to make this diary more interesting and with more different styles in there. So Massive Voodoo grew over the years. Some people joined, some people left. And so it's a wide ride of friendship and creativity and painting there. So.
It's got nothing to do with voodoo. You've not got little miniature painters with pins in all over your shelves at home.
No, absolutely not. But it's magic somehow.
Outside of minis, what brings you joy?
Nature, and with a certain age in life, you realize that the most important currency in life is time. So, and time well spent, often in nature, gives me joy.
Painting with Roman for the last couple of weeks has been one of the most inspirational things I've done for a very long time. So stay tuned for lots of content around that.
Silly question. Do you lick your brush?
Yes, cannot avoid it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Has been a pleasure, James.
A huge thank you to Roman and patrons and all the people who've supported me over on Discord. Thank you so much. If you want to support me as a creator, there's a whole list of ways to do that linked in the video description below this. But I think a better way to support me is to watch this video next, which I think you'll love anyway. Thanks so much.